Now, on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they and certain other women with them came to the tomb, bringing the spices which they had prepared. But they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. Then they went in and did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. And it happened, as they were greatly perplexed about this, that behold, two men stood by them in shining garments. Then, as they were afraid and bowed their faces to the earth, they said to them, why you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spake to you when he was still in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. And they remembered his words. Then they returned from the tomb and told all these things to the 11 and all the rest. It was Mary Magdalene, Jonah, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them, who told these things to the apostles. And their words seemed to them like idle tales, and they did not believe them. But Peter arose and ran to the tomb, and stooping down, he saw the linen clothes lying by themselves, and he departed, marveling to himself what had happened. Well, here we are in the resurrection according to Luke's gospel. It has a lot of similarities to Mark and to Matthew, but there's a little more detail, and there are some unique things that go on here. One, of course, is the road to Emmaus. Mark mentions it only in a sentence, but Luke spells out the details. The other thing that happens is that Jesus uses a couple of proofs to show his resurrection. So I just want you to go with me on a great journey as we go through what the women and the apostles actually experience when the resurrection happens. They are totally astonished. And as I said in the other videos, the women didn't come to see Jesus arise from the dead. They came to anoint a dead body. That's what the spices were all about. And the reason why I'm repeating this is so that you can see that you don't believe in God just because you study the scriptures. I mean, I'm listening to some of these people on TV or whatever. God reveals himself to you because the Father has willed it and made it possible. He drew you. He brought you to a place of brokenness. You don't serve God because you earnestly seek. Because the Bible is clear. In the prophets, they have all gone out of the way. They have all together become unprofitable. Now, look, if you're unprofitable spiritually, you're just not going to find Jesus. But thank God, Jesus finds us. So let's get into this unique account. Now, behold, two of them were traveling that same day to a village called Emmaus, which was 7 miles from Jerusalem. And they talked together of all the things which had happened. So it was, while they conversed and reasoned, that Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were restrained, so that they did not know him. And he said to them, what kind of conversation is this that you have with one another as you walk and are sad? Then the one who was named Cleophas answered and said to him, are you a stranger in Jerusalem, and you have not known the things which have happened there in these days? And he said to them, what things? So they said to him, the things concerning Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and in word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we were hoping that it was he who was going to redeem Israel. Indeed, besides all this, today is the third day since all these things have happened. Yes, and certain women of our company who arrived at the tomb early astonished us when they did not find his body. They came saying that they had also seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. And certain of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but him they did not see. Then he said to them, O foolish ones, and slow of heart to believe in all the prophets have spoken. Ought not the Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. Then they drew near to the village where they were going, and he indicated that he would have gone further. But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward the evening, and the day is far spent. And he went to stay with them. Now it came to pass, as he sat at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished from their sight. Now, as we look at the road of Emmaus, I want you to see something here that put yourself in the same situation as these men. You just saw Jesus die, and the scene was pretty bad. So when they're walking along, their world has come crashing down, and they're having this conversation, and it's not a happy moment. And here comes Jesus in the middle of them, and he does something that I love. From Genesis on, the Lord loves to ask questions. He did that in the garden. He said, Adam, where are you? Who told you you were naked? Did you eat of the fruit that I commanded you not of? What have you done? So his first four utterances after the fall, the first four are all questions. So here's Jesus says, what sort of conversations are you having that you're sad? And then, of course, they say, well, man, you got to be a stranger. You don't know what just happened? And then Jesus says, tell me about it. And then they go on their big story and everything, and they told them how the women went to the resurrection and everything. And Jesus says, oh, come on, y'all. How foolish are you? To believe everything that the prophets had said concerning me, I had to suffer. And I told you myself, and I just want to make mention, my pastor told me way back in the 70s, he had from the four gospels derived 18 times. But this is where I want you to take comfort. Jesus took time to reveal himself to them and to deal with their disappointments and their pains. And he would have kept going, but they reached out to him and said, come on, stay with us.